So, Bank of America cuts gold, silver, PGM, copper forecast for 2021. Now, this is really interesting to note, just given the fact that we're still at the beginning stages of our recovery. And, the government, if you listen to them, they'll let you know that we're actually technically still in recessionary territory. Here, this is the Federal Reserve's research site. And anytime you see anything in yellow, just a quick note here, that lets you know you're still in recessionary territory. And this is the 10 minus 2 yield curve. And as you can see in the last, by the end of May, going into our current times, you've really taken off as far as a dip here in the 10 minus 2, which essentially mutes those inflation expectations temporarily, given the fact that we're starting to see more and more talks about this Delta variant here, particularly within the United States as well. Now, yesterday I spoke about how this Delta variant was starting to take off, towards the end of the week. Cases are rising, but I hadn't looked at this, and it looks like deaths are actually starting to rise a tiny bit. Now, this is just a little minor uptick from the inflection point here. Who knows? Who's to say it's actually going to start spiking up? I don't know, but this could be something that's worrying investors as far as a threat to the global economy. Now, it's also worrying for countries that have already been impacted by this. Obviously, you have countries like India, or you have other countries in Asia that have really been impacted by the Delta variant. But our country, United States, about half of the country has been fully vaccinated. So who knows how rampant this will be here in the United States? But the problem is that it's a global issue. So our supply chains are global. So there is a threat to growth there. So perhaps maybe this is why Bank of America is cutting their gold, silver, PGM, copper forecast for 2021. But let's take a look here and get a view. Although the inflation threat continues to support gold prices, the precious metal is walking a narrow path with the potential for tighter monetary policy, keeping the market in line, according to analysts at Bank of America. Now, I find this interesting, especially given the fact that we already know that this is what tends to happen, post a recession. Inflation expectations rise, obviously, out of a deflationary event, recessionary event. And after the Fed lowers their federal funds rate, it's expected that they will raise it. It's not something that's much of a surprise here. Now, the Fed has also been saying recently that they are looking, or some have been saying that they may raise rates sooner rather than later, and that their expectation for higher inflation will last longer than usual. So for Bank of America to talk about tighter monetary policy, yes, that's true, but I would say that would make my view a little bit more aggressive on gold and silver prices and copper as well, just given the fact that if there's more talk about tighter monetary policy, then there might be more talk about, or there might be more concern about inflation. So let's continue. In a report published Thursday, the bank slashed most of its forecast for precious metals and base metals. Looking at gold prices, the analysts said that they now see the precious metal averaging the year at $1,828, down 0.8% from their previous forecast. The bank sees gold prices pushing back above $1,900 an ounce by the fourth quarter, which is a good sign, obviously, a part of the inflation narrative. Let's continue. At the same time, the bank also lowered its silver forecast. The analysts see silver prices averaging this year around $27.71 an ounce, down 3.9% from the previous forecast. The analysts added that they like silver over gold going forward. This also might be from their view again, of growing industrial demand, especially as we get out of this recessionary period. Here's a quote: "Gold continues to tread a fine line between rates and inflation, while silver should benefit from accelerating growth. Silver is preferred due to rising demand in solar panels and growth in electrical applications." So this looks like a longer term view that they're taking on silver just overall in the future, which is a good sign. As most of us know, or as I've been talking about a lot on this channel, I've been talking a lot about the near term to medium term, but this is a long term view, which also may be, which is just generally a nice bullish view on the global economy and their view on the green economy and solar and electric and just green infrastructure. As a global economy takes this on, obviously silver is going to have a story or a part to play in the story. So let's continue. Looking at the platinum group metals, Bank of America said that they see platinum prices averaging the year around $1,287 an ounce, down 2.2% from the previous forecast. Palladium is expected to average the year around $2,788 an ounce, down 1.9% from the previous estimate. However, long term, the bank sees both platinum and palladium prices rising 8% as high production costs limit supply. And we all are pretty aware of this, especially when it comes to the hydrogen energy. Looking at precious metal equities, the bank said that its top senior producer pick is Newmont. Its top royalty play is Franco-Nevada. Now, I know some of you guys have equities here in precious metals. For silver equities, the analyst top pick is Wheaton Precious Metals. They're definitely a big guy on campus. Let's go down a little bit further. Turning to base metals, the bank has lowered its outlook for copper, lead, and nickel. The bank sees copper prices averaging in 2021 around $9,868 per ton, down 6.7% from the prior forecast. Now, this might be along their view on what is happening with China. So there could be it looks like they have some near-term bearishness, but it looks like they're talking a lot about some long-term things here. So for me, I'm not necessarily understanding why they would cut their forecast. Again, for me, I'm still pretty bullish on most commodities generally at this point in the cycle. But guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new. It's Black Bullion for goldandsilvertoday.com.